an idea, right? Like a thought, a passion of mine. And I feel like for the first time in my entire life, went all in on something. I've always dipped my toes in like a lot of things, right? But this is the first time I've ever went all in and like fully believed in myself to the point where I'm like, I got to do this. And I did it in the beginning. I mean, we've talked about it. It was disheartening in the beginning. You kind of see like who's the real ones and who are the fake ones. And I know you've gone through that. Like I said, we've talked about that. Yeah. But once you get past that point and you really just appreciate every listen, every download, every share, whatever, and you just keep chugging and you keep putting content out and you're consistent, it grows. Like it does. It's funny. Like I used to like think, yeah, okay. Like, you know, you see people say that, or Gary, right? Gary V, someone that we both have talked about. Yeah. You know, he says the same thing, just content, consistency, put it out.
It's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work, and it goes by fast. Yeah. But this whole year, like, it's funny that, you know, everyone talks about 2020 being this bad year and this, you know, okay. But for me, I think personally, 2020 has been one of my favorite years, honestly. Like a lot of free time, a lot of time to pursue this. Like without 2020, honestly, I don't know if I would be like full force into this. You know what I mean?
I don't think I would be. No way.
But I'm so thankful and so happy that it has happened, and to see how far it's come from. Yeah, I think I started like late February. I mean, it hasn't even been a year yet, right? A full year. And to see how quickly not only the podcast has grown, but I mean, now the Facebook page is starting to go. That's Twitter sucks. Twitter sucks. It grows, but like no one.
I just got banned again. For nothing.
Yeah, I mean, that's a whole nother topic, right? Getting banned. Yeah.
It's bullshit.
And the Instagram for sure, because I didn't even have Instagram when I started. Like right when I started, I got the Instagram, and that has grown, and that's a lot of fun because people actually interact on it and my Instagram. But man, it's hard. It's hard to see, but I'm so glad that I kind of got like the first full year almost over. Yeah. Because now is the sky's the limit. Because it's funny, you know, I posted on my Instagram, and you were laughing about this. You messaged me. You said, you know, I posted and said, you know, big things to come. Got big celebrities coming up. And you asked me, you were like,
I love that.
You were like, who? You know, what celebrities are coming on? And I was like, well, I don't know. I just know, like, I'm gonna get celebrities. I mean, I just know I'm confident to where this is becoming, and like. And my method to where like if I pursue it enough, I'm going to get content and gonna get people on. You know what I mean? So it's crazy, but it's fun, man. It's a fun process. It really is.
I think that the thing is that's really busting my chops lately with you is the IG like performance and shit. Like I each day, because when I switch my personal account to my show account, because I post the same shit every 4 months, the same photo of me and Kevin Durant. Like I don't fucking post anything else. So I'm like, you know what? I have a following here. I have enough followers. I'll just make this my Christian Answers show on. But it's like, I'm sitting here trying to get rid of all these followers. That, like, are just ghost followers. They don't put any content out, but it takes forever to do that. You managed to wield your way down, I think, to only following 719. You got 4,000 plus followers. Yeah. How the hell do you manage to do that? Because I hate Instagram. Like, dude, what's your madness? Like,
social media is crazy. It's crazy. Social media is crazy. It's and like you said, with getting banned. I mean, I've been banned on Instagram because I posted on Joe Biden's on his account when he was getting a vaccine, and I said he was bullshit and he didn't really get the vaccine. Yeah. And within seconds they banned me. Oh my God. So I'm just like, okay, I got to chill it out a little bit with that.
No, you don't. You did nothing wrong. You were just fucking around. But like,
well, no, but now, you know, today, like, dude, it's weird times that we live in. I mean, that's a whole other section to talk about. But like, dude, the Instagram, I don't know. It's like in the beginning, you kind of have to like, you know, follow people and try and like meet people and comment on people's walls and interact, right, to build, to grow. Because when you're putting stuff out in the beginning and like no one's liking it, no one's sharing it, no one's listening to your stuff. So, okay, you kind of have to be proactive in the beginning, but not fake to where like, there's people probably out there who like buy followers and shit, but there's no point in doing that. You know what I mean? Because if you do that, those are automatically, they're not going to interact with you and communicate with you. Right. So my method was be myself. This is my podcast page, but also it's my page. Sure, like I'm not gonna hold back. Like if I want to post a Donald Trump thing, I post a Donald Trump thing. If I want to post whatever it is, right? I'm me, but at the same time, this is my podcast page as well. And so I was just following people that I felt like might want to interact with me, like, that are maybe into podcasts and stuff. And then I'd, interact, comment whenever I'm on. If I see something I like it, comment, whatever it is, even stories is good too. Like, I love when people reply. When people reply to stories, I think that's good, right? Like, why else am I posting a story if you're not going to interact with me? So I would do that to other people as well. Me and you do it to each other all the time, right? If I ever see any of your stuff, I always, interact with you. But I feel like, why are we on social media if we're not going to do that, right? Like, the worst thing, me and my fiance talk about this all the time. She talks about with her page. It's like, why are we on social media if you're not going to actually like my stuff, share my stuff? Maybe you don't have to share, but like interact, comment, like say hello. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird, but I don't even think anything of it anymore. I just chug along and I want to get to 10,000 so bad because I want the swipe up feature. Like, I know you want the swipe up feature, right?
Well, see, that's what I was going to bring up, because I looked into it. So even if you reach that 10,000 mark, that's still not a guarantee. Yeah, I have a friend who works for Instagram.
That's annoying.
He lives in Silicon Valley. He's kind of a dick, but he's a genius with it. Like, I met him in chess club in high school, so that explains why he's there.
Okay.
But, he said, like, even if you get to that 10,000 mark, like, you still have to go through like a chain of commands, like a verification process. Like, what is this? Like, why do you gotta? We gotta interrogate to see if they're real, they're fake. Oh my god!
Right.
So it's like, but that swipe up feature is huge. Yeah, because I mean, you could be more interactive. As soon as you get that feature, that's it. I mean, you can't lay low, but it's a lot easier.
So much easier.
You don't have to have people go to your story. Okay, what does the link say? Okay, let's go back. I mean, you're there.
Dude, I've learned this even more now with doing a podcast, but people are so lazy when it comes to stuff like that. Like, they need to see the link in order to click it. And you can't do that on a story, right? So you have to be like, link in bio, and like, just people don't do that. It's harder to get new people to get to your stuff. But if with that swipe up, like, I can't wait. Like, who knows when that's going to be, but I will get the swipe up. Let me tell you, like, that will happen, and I can't wait. But in the meantime, like, it doesn't matter. Like, I'm even to the point where I'm just growing, man, like, slowly but surely. And, you mentioned in the beginning about like me doing video, right?
It's so awkward, but I'm getting
my mind has changed. Like, it changes every day, but like, I'm still doing it. But if you would have asked me 2 months ago, I would have thought I'm already be doing it. But I'm kind of taking my time. I'm doing like baby steps, because I also thought about this. It's like, I'm not big enough to where I can have all these things at once and expect the numbers to grow. So for instance, like, I think if I was to put out video right away, like right now, I'd get some YouTube, but at the same time, would my podcast drop? So I kind of want to get to a certain point where like I'm hitting a certain number, or I see a growth to where I'm like, okay, I'm ready for video. But I have already taken the step to like right now we're on video. Like before, dude, we had like 8 stickers over the thing, and like the camera wasn't working. I didn't know why.
I was the same way. Hated it.
So now I'm just like, okay, I had to fix this. I fixed the camera. Now I'm going to be on the camera all the time doing Zooms, whatever it is with the podcast. Like whoever the guest is, if they want to have the video, I'm going to do the video. So that's already like a baby step, because last year I didn't do any video. It was just all audio. So I'm moving slow, like, because I understand this is a very, very, very slow grind. And that's where I give you props, dude, because not only you have 2 podcasts, which one's hard enough for me, and then
it's tough.
and then you've moved to the video aspect of it, and you got multiple social media, so it's like I mean, for people that don't understand, like it's already hard for because you have to balance real life as well, right?
Yeah,
You
it's
can't
like a
just
full-time job. I fucking hate it.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But I love it.
You're doing you're living multiple. So props to you on that. Again, I tell you that all the time, but seriously, because just mine alone is a headache. But yeah, dude, you're killing it.
Oh yeah, of course it is. You got a fuck ton of followers. Like low key, like I feel like your growth is helping me in the sense of working harder. Because like every day, like I'll go up, I'll be like, you dick, I just tagged you with something. I did an interview with you and you didn't fucking like it. Like, what's your problem? Damn it. Like, all you have to do is literally share it to your story. Like, that's all I can ask for. Getting reviews and reviews in the App Store too. I mean, how the hell do you go about that? I can't get nobody. Like, they're just not. I don't.
What do you
I don't
mean reviews on where
like you have like 35 reviews up in Apple Podcasts.
Like you know reviews. What? In the beginning, man, I used to care so much about that, and I remember in the beginning,
that's the most important part.
It is. Reviews are huge, and I think a lot of them I don't know, but there was a couple like I would like tell like my fiance. Actually, I don't even know if she wrote one. I remember telling her. I don't know if she ever did it.
Worst podcast ever.
Yeah. I don't know. I think at the beginning I just kind of like talked to my circle and said, hey, if you could leave a review, but most people didn't do it. It was just like ended up being like random people that I didn't know. I don't know, man. It's funny you say that because I remember thinking that was like the coolest thing ever, and I used to look at it all the time, and now I don't even look at it anymore. You got 3?
Yeah, but see, like now, I'm getting to the point where
I'll go make a 4th. I'll go make a 4th for you.
I was gonna make a 4th. So fuck all of you who've listened and not done anything. I don't even know how many. It's like almost. I don't got many on this show. The other one that I do, the blues one, it's a lot, but it's like the little things, right? Like one comment could really be the help you as far as tier goes, because as soon as you start searching in Apple Podcasts, the letter B and E, the ones that come up first are the ones with the most ratings and comments or reviews. So like if you hit B and boom, BeUniQue comes up first. 90% of that reason is commenting. That's the thing is, it's a myth. It's not views or downloads. It's the comments and interactions and ratings that are left.
It is, especially for Apple. And I remember that was why I was infatuated with it, because I was like, I want to pop up when someone types in B or maybe BU.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And I wonder, because I haven't looked at that in so long, and it's funny that you say that. Like, I want to like maybe after this look up, if I do pop up first, because I know on obviously on my phone though I do, because I follow it, but I wonder how it is for other people. But it is huge, like you said. Yes, reviews are huge, but also, man, like, to be honest, I listen to all my stuff on Spotify now. Like, and you can't leave reviews. You can't leave reviews on Spotify, which is stupid.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
I know. I think Spotify is taking over, honestly. I don't really care for Apple's podcast platform.
It's just bland. It's very bland.
It's bland. And I mean, you could see all the analytics and stats for that. You could just log into Apple Podcast thing and you could actually see your numbers on Apple. But I feel like downsizing them and consolidating into just using exclusively like a Spotify. So you have all true numbers. Like you have a one readout, because I don't like seeing where everything else is coming from. Because the shows don't pull well anywhere else. It's Spotify. That's it. 90% of it. How have the monetization thing been going for you? Have you started to work on getting some of that shit pulled into the picture as far as little sponsors go? I've tried.
I honestly, for me to say that I've given a ton of effort into it, I'd be lying. Like I've dabbled, but again, I'm so zoned in and focused on just the
content,
putting good content out right now. Like monetization right now, I do bust my ass, and I'm constantly thinking of ideas and constantly thinking of things. But to think that I deserve to like be making money off of this yet,
20,000 an episode or plus, like Rogan does.
It
That's
would be
fucking $75,000 an episode he makes.
yeah. I mean, that would be great, but like
That's
for
like
me,
big dick energy. Like,
yeah,
fuck.
that's huge dick energy. I don't know. I just don't think I'm there yet. Like, I would love it, right? And even like if someone donated or whatever, so I can like upgrade and get a better camera,
yeah,
you know, like or whatever it is, like those things would mean a lot, yeah. But honestly, yeah, man, I'm really just focused on content and growing the platforms to where like when I do reach out for like advertisement or sponsors or they see my platforms or they see my podcast and they can't say no. You kind of get what I mean? Like, you know, like I still feel like I'm not a rookie. I think I've progressed whatever after whatever after that is, but I'm not there yet. And I'm pretty realistic and humble on that. It's just content is more important to me right now and growing the platforms, because when I do reach out, I want them to be like, whoa, BeUniQue. Like, yeah, definitely. Yeah. You can advertise our shit. Like, I want that. I don't want it to be like, hey, you know what? You're not there yet. Maybe, you know, hit us up in a couple of months. I don't want that. I just want to like, okay, I'm going to focus on my shit. So you can't turn me down because I got so many good guests and I got, you know, funny shows or whatever it is, you know. I'm excited for the future because let me tell you something. Like I remember you asked me, like I was saying earlier, you asked me about like, I don't know what celebrities are coming on or who's next or whatever.
That was my favorite. Yeah.
I've adjusted of how I work my Instagram now. And like I used to, and I remember, I think we talked about this on my episode with you, where if you see that notification on Instagram, you have to read it, right? You have to open it. Now, I don't know why something happened to me, but I probably have like at least 14 unreads, and they're all basically celebrities or somewhat celebrities or like up and comers. And I've read the message like without clicking it, and they've said yes, essentially, but I haven't opened it or read it because I kind of like don't know when I want to have them on yet.
Like, so what the fuck am I gonna talk to this person about?
Yeah, so I leave them on unread now. And before, man, if someone replied, I'd be like, oh, yes. Now I've kind of like slowed it down. It's like, okay, I know I have these people saying yes, so I will reach out to them when I'm ready. Like I'm kind of like going at my own pace now. And another thing that I've really changed is kind of with that is just taking my time with, if I have a guest on, I'm really going to focus on promoting that and not put too much content out all at once. Because what I've noticed is like with the stories, people skip through it, you know, if you put too much out.
Tap.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I'm really just like in a different mode. Like I'm very laser focused.
You're locked in.
But at the same time, I'm like,
you're ready to go. I'm like, I'm fucking doing this.
Yeah. I'm just very slow motion with it though, you know, like I'm not in any rush because I understand how slow of a grind it is, you know, and how important it is to put good content on. Yeah. So.
No, I got you. And you mentioned the thing about worrying about sponsorships and shit, whatever. Dude, there's this website. That's how I got in with like I did a couple reads for FedEx. I do FedEx. They're sponsoring the show. Fanatics.
Awesome.
Anytime I do an athlete, Fanatics, NBA store, stuff like that. Purple Carrot. I don't know if you've heard of them. But there's this website called podgo.co. And what you go there, you sign it up, and you can make money doing ad reads for. They gear ads towards you based on the content and the guests you have on your show. And you can make money with no minimum listenership. Like you can go there right now, sign up. And that's how I got in with Fanatics. You go there, sign up, boom, right away. You get ad reads for like Kind, the nutrition bar, all that stuff. You get there for free and you're making money and you're not giving them anything. You should check it out.
Well, what's it called again?
It's called podgo.co, POD.co.
Okay, so that is
Or
something that like
podgo.co. So
right.
podgo.co.
That's something that I would totally be down with because it's like
yeah.
Like you said, it's gearing towards my stuff, and I don't really have to, you know. Is there like a requirement like before? I'm really iffy on that too because it's like I'm
That's
really
the thing.
focused on the content.
Pre-roll stuff. So it's like
Okay.
I hate mid-rolls. Mid-rolls are like
Yeah.
if I'm doing a video, like if it's a video episode, maybe I do a mid-roll because you see like people go like this and then they'll cut away and you're like doing an ad there and then boom, then you're back into the interview. But I don't like that because I feel like that's I think it just I don't know. I just don't like mid-rolls. Pre-rolls is everything. I mean, it's like you have to mention certain things. You have to mention just a few certain things, but you do the ad in your voice and how it pertains to your show. As long as you highlight, X, Y, and Z, you're good to go and you get that money. But
the
crazy.
mid roll as a listener for me, I'd hate it. Me personally, I'd hate it. But it probably is the best strategy as a podcaster because mid roll, I feel like they have to listen to it, right? Because pre roll, I know for me with Joe Rogan back in the day when I was like heavy listening, I'm fast forward every 15
Really, you didn't
seconds.
Like that shit?
I mean, I liked it in the beginning because he's like, "What the fuck is up?
Supplements.
Wear these underwear. They're fucking badass. I'm wearing them right now. Like
these are the best supplements in the world. I'm gonna tell you."
But I'm not gonna lie. Like I was like, okay, I came here to listen to this interview. I'm skipping to Elon Musk like when he's talking. Like so, a lot of times I did skip it. But mid roll, man, if he did that during the podcast, I'd be like, oh my fucking god.
See, that's the thing I've learned.
Yeah.
I've had that fucking issue because it's like I don't talk to many people. So it's like there's probably 15 people who listen to my show like religiously. And they're like my best freaking friends. Like I literally would take a bullet for some of them. I'm joking, but you know what I mean? Like I have some people who actually listen to it. It's like great.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know. It's like I have to switch my format up because I like do this. I do my intro and then like I find myself in this rant. Then I go, okay, let me start the interview. And I don't know why I do that. And I think that's the thing with sponsors too. It's like ever since I started to get in with them, I have been really laid back. But at the same time, it's kind of been like, no, fuck you. This is my thing. Like this is like my only release sometimes because I don't talk to anybody else. It's a lot easier talking to people who don't know you than it is talking to people who know you because I feel like it's easier to open up. But yeah, it's really easy. You just go there, you sign up your stuff, and you literally get approved right away. But you can only do one paid ad a week for now, which is
how much you getting paid?
Well, it's the cool thing is so it's minimum listenership, but if you reach like if your episode, goes balls to the wall, you'll get more. So I haven't got a payout yet.
Oh, based off of
downloads?
So it's
like just based on stats. Like they have access to your RSS feed and then they like track all that stuff, but I don't know. I find out at the end of the month. This is month 1 doing it.
Right.
But yeah, sorry. This is Podgo. You have 0. Bye. Fuck off. No. But yeah, you should check that out. But yeah, I totally agree with you about the mid-rolls. I'm not a big fan with it. But like I said, if you're doing video, that's perfect because you could. I mean, that's just is what it is. I don't know, but yeah, Rogan. I think his earlier stuff was reminded me actually a lot of where you're going and how you started. I mean, if you listen to every one of his episodes on Spotify, like they have 1 through now, like it literally. There's like I see you like in the early years for Rogan with the way you approach your show. Is that something that's kind of been a fucking struggle? Like, oh no, like I don't want to be Rogan. I want to be Lucas. Like, because obviously that's one of the reasons you started. You love the guy. Obviously he was an influence. So it's like, how do you do your own show and make it unique to yourself without falling into like Roganisms? Because I have struggled with like certain podcasters that I listen to that made me start like, Oh no. Did that sound like, yeah, that sounded like him. That was fucking dumb. Like I have moments like that.
Yeah, yeah.
What's the biggest struggle for you when it comes to shit like that?
Well, I mean, honestly, man, like if someone's gonna compare me to Joe Rogan, I'll take it.
Right,
You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
I'm being serious though. Like there's a lot. It's kind of
The
eerie.
beginning stages, I get what you mean, and I mean, I think I first of all listen to Joe Rogan because I see myself a little bit in him when it comes,
That
maybe
makes
not
sense.
like
Yeah.
what we do and, you know, like what we like, but it's more of like how he is, like kind of just
Mhm.
being a free spirit and not really giving a fuck what people
Yeah.
think, and doing it his way. And I think, specifically how Joe does it, it's way different than most people, to where first of all, he speaks his mind, right? And but how he books his shows, it's about what he likes or who he
Right.
likes or
Mhm.
what he finds interesting. And I think ultimately that's like when I envision myself doing it,
Mhm.
I mean, I don't mean to copy him, but that's kind of like
Yeah.
how I've always thought of it. It's like
That's what you know.
whatever I care about, whatever I'm interested in, whoever
Right.
I find interest in, most likely I'm not to the point where like someone's gonna ask me, hey, can I be on your show? And I'm gonna be like, no, like I'm not to that point, right? But
Yeah.
yeah, man, I think when it comes to Joe, my biggest similarity, in my opinion, is just kind of the free spirit aspect and doing what you believe in. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be by the book. And I've never been like that, right? I've never been by the book. Like,
no.
you know, they see Lucas and like, oh yeah, he follows the rules. No. I'm gonna bend bend the rules, and I'm gonna do it how I want it.
Yeah.
And I don't try and copy anyone. And to be honest, I haven't listened to a Joe Rogan podcast in probably a couple months. It's
Really?
and
No
I don't
shit.
know why. I don't know why. I just been really into I miss the biggest part about being back home in Chicago is I miss sports.
Yeah.
And anytime I'm in the car, which is a lot with Uber. And
Yeah.
I either listen to music or I listen to my sports guys radio, which is like 4 hours a day. But I don't listen to it live. I listen to the podcast like after. But, you know, I mean, just recently, like Waddle and Sylvie had on George McCaskey, and I just loved how they ripped him. It was amazing. It was amazing.
Basically said, I don't know shit about football. I think Ryan Pace does though.
Yeah, exactly. And so those are the type of things that I'm listening to right now. And yeah, I don't know. I don't even remember like Joe's like mannerisms, and I kind of don't like what Spotify did to his stuff. It's like you have to listen to the ads in the beginning for Joe Rogan on Spotify
that
now.
guy's
Like
getting paid. I mean, he's
so much.
He's bringing in like more than probably 50% of.
Oh yeah, yeah. And don't get me wrong. If I could get to Joe Rogan point where like Spotify says, hey, we have to play ads at the beginning. Okay, fine. Yeah, like I'm going to do it.
We're going to let you do videos. You're the only fucking podcast that does videos on Spotify.
Yeah,
You're not even allowed to have that option. He's the only person in the world.
Right. Yeah, no, it's crazy. And I appreciate you, comparing me to Joe Rogan, and hopefully a couple years from now. All
right. Don't take it too far.
Well, no, but like, the beginning, for you to say that, because I think that is why I started. It's a huge reason why I started was I wanted to be similar in a sense to Joe Rogan, but like you said, not be Joe Rogan, be Lucas Hemenway, be unique. And even thinking back on it, man, it hasn't been a whole year, but I think the hardest part that I was worried about was the name of the show. And I think BeUniQue it's simplistic, but at the same time, it's not. And it's me. And I think BeUniQue has, I don't know, man. I think it's like really catching on. Like when you hear BeUniQue, at least for the people in my circle, everyone knows, okay, that's Lucas's podcast, you know, and that's kind of cool to say at this point, because I was thinking about doing something kind of like what you were doing before I even knew you did that. The Lucas Hemenway show, but right away I shot it down because I was like, I need like, I don't want my name in it. Nothing wrong with like people that have it like Joe Rogan and like you, like, but I just needed a little different. And I think BeUniQue is like, that's like my life, you know, like that's who I am. And I think it fits perfect. And it's been rolling, man. It's been rolling for sure.
No, and I think you touched on a great point there because like I struggle with that too. It's like an identity thing. Like my show has never been about me. Like when has the show ever been about me? You know,
Right.
it's like it's everyone who comes on, it's about them and their story. But it's like I guess I just suck at coming up with names. That's my issue. But
No, dude, yours is well, first of all, your other show, the Monday Morning Blues, I mean, that's awesome. I love, like, that's catchy, it's perfect, and you know, but for the Christian Hansen show, dude, it's perfect. Like,
it's super
you're
long though. It's like it's a mouthful.
look at the logos. The logos,
that's
and
fun. I have fun making those.
Yeah, dude, it's for sure. And I definitely in the future am gonna do you know, similar stuff to where, like, if I have merch, or like maybe I'll start small, like I don't know exactly. Like, see, that's the thing. Every day I have ideas, and every day those ideas change. So it's always evolving.
You got to write that shit down.
Dude, I told my fiance that the other day. I got to start writing shit down because I have so many amazing so I have so many amazing ideas, and half the time, you know, I can't write it down, and I end up forgetting it, and then I think about it 2 weeks later. My mind's it's crazy, and I'm sure me and you are very similar in that, because I'm sure shit's always running through your mind.
I think the hardest thing is like, because I have my day job, I'm working from home, so I'm doing that, and then I get sidetracked because an idea comes to my head, and I go, oh fuck, I'm on my phone for 15 to 20 minutes. I got to get back to work, and that's the struggle too. It's like staying locked in, and not worrying about this freaking podcast during work. Like, it's so hard,
right?
But I think it just shows, like, deep down inside, like, I know where I want to go and what I want to do with this. Like, there's potential here. But I don't know. It's just fucking crazy. I have to ask you, too, being a conservative on social media, what has that been like over the past year? I mean, they've literally grabbed you by the fucking balls. I mean, not just. Let me walk that back. Not all of them, but like, they've definitely leaned towards, I feel, censoring more to the right. I mean, I'll be straight up with you. Registered independent, I lean more Democratic and liberal. But as a conservative social media user, how has that been as far as just using platforms through your eyes? What's been the biggest struggle over the past year in particular?
Well, I'm not gonna lie, like, you know, when you post stuff, like,
you know what's gonna happen because of what you posted.
Yeah, I mean, I think I said this on my podcast with you. I'm not sure. Maybe I didn't. I don't know. But I mean, when I posted, my social media has changed a little bit with Instagram for sure.
Big time. I've seen it.
No, I mean, in a bad sense though. Really? I used to get like in the 500s of like stories for people viewing it, and it's went down ever since I posted the picture of me at a Trump rally, and then the boomerang of me voting for Trump. And
wow,
I kid you not, ever since that, even if I make like a normal post, the likes are down, and I know what it is. Like, my page has kind of been pushed to the back because I've seen it with other conservative, and I wouldn't even consider myself conservative. Like you said, like I'm registered independent as well, but I'm on the other side. I lean definitely more,
which is okay.
Like, yeah, no, for sure. And, you know, and I used to, I guess, growing up, consider myself a Democrat, I guess. I don't know. I wasn't really like crazy into it, but yeah, I would have been like, yeah, I'm for Obama, but I was so uneducated. Right. And then when I educated myself, I was like, what am I doing? Like, what am I, in my opinion, I was like, what was I doing? Like, you know, it's definitely affected it. Yeah, for sure. I mean, when I posted those things to Trump too, I lost at least over 200 followers within that day. Bro. Just in that day. And people would like go out of their way to comment and be like, hey, I'm unfollowing you. I'm just all like, right, okay, cool, thanks. Like, okay.
Have a good one.
So that's crazy. And you see, you know, whether people like Trump or not, what's happening with censorship and the fact that the president of the United States got censored for something as small as like, they really think like he's the reason that I mean, it's a whole other
definitely
topic.
not the main reason. I mean, there's a lot of things that led up to it, but I wouldn't pinpoint him as the single reason.
No. And yeah, it's a whole other topic. I mean,
it's crazy shit.
Like, if I was being real, I mean, I think that shit was so set up, and it's not even funny. Like,
there's a lot of stuff that just is set up like
over
that
the whole year, there has been, but that's just like, and then they're going for like they did get him impeached twice, and it's like, dude, he's out in a week. Like, are you guys still that butthurt that he won, and you just want to make him stuff. I don't know, it's crazy. But yeah, as a person with a podcast, I guess there's two things. I could totally tell there's more of an uphill battle if I'm gonna like be real and be myself and post.
Which is
like
bullshit though. It's like, fuck, this is me.
Right, exactly. And that's what's crazy with the world. And like I was saying, like if whether you like Trump or not, like what they're doing to him is first of all, it's never been done and it's never been seen, and it's terrible. I mean, even them getting rid of Parler, like that shit is insane. Yeah, Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, they just don't want people competing with them, and they have Amazon completely take off Parler. Like, it's just like,
I think they even blocked him from Shopify. Like, what the fuck is Trump gonna do? He's gonna go create his own shop or something?
Yeah,
like,
I mean, they're just trying to like pretty much just cancel him, and I don't know. I mean, it is what it is. I'm really like past it, and I'm so over politics at this point.
About the whole topic in itself.
Yeah, I'm just so over it. Like, I'm just like
as soon as I brought it up, you dropped from comfort to get me the fuck out of here real quick.
No, I'm fine with talking about it. It's more of just, it's like a shake my head moment. Like, yeah, I mean, if there was any emoji that could, it's just shake my head. It's just like honestly, like what has it become? Like, we are getting closer and closer to become China. And when it comes to my podcast, yeah, I think it has affected it a little bit, but then there's a flip side to it, right? I'm actually finding people who engage and like what I'm posting and I find people that think like me, so I what I'm basically trying to say is I think there are a lot of people who think like me that aren't as vocal about it, but they are when I post something, right? They'll DM me or they'll reply to a story. So I'm finding people who are actually interested in the subject, and who have similar minds like me. And my best podcast, my most listened to podcast, 312 Conservative. And who would have thought? I mean, long story short, I didn't know she worked in government in Chicago, and she said that they really don't like her because she was a female, and because she was a Trump supporter, and because she hates the mayor. And she basically works for the mayor. I don't know exactly what she was doing.
That could be kind of hard.
Yeah. So they were already trying to get her fired previously. And then they found out that she did my podcast. So they were trying to say that she did my podcast on work hours, which wasn't true because we did it at 6 in the morning.
Epic, dude.
Yeah. But so it was under investigation. She had me take it down, but by the time I took it down, it didn't matter. It was on, they were downloading it and listening it still while it was down. I'm trying to think what it's called. It was on, I think it's Pod Notes. You know what that is?
Dude, that's insane. No, but that's freaking crazy. Like, you were in investigation. You were being investigated.
Yeah. So she tells me this. I go look at the downloads and I'm like, what the hell is going on? Like, I took it. Oh, now it is. I don't know. I mean, I could look it up real quick.
It's up there. It's still up there. It's not numbered though.
Well,
it goes from episode 28
I just put it back
to nothing up. And then 29.
Okay. See, I got to fix that. I just put it back up because she ended up quitting that job and she doesn't care. And she's going to come back
on Instagram.
Oh,
her account got deleted, I guess.
Account deleted. There's so many accounts that I know of that were conservative that have either been completely deleted.
Look at Maggie from Fog City. She lost like thousands.
Oh, dude, she had almost 400,000 followers. Yeah. Now she has a new page. And she's only at, it's crazy. Like, why are people Like, okay, if you don't agree, but why are you deleting their page? Yeah. If they're not speaking truth, and my thing is, it's like, why are you hiding what these people are saying? Why are you so worried about it if it's not true? Like, if what they're saying is not true, then why are they being censored? Why are you so worried about people's opinions? You know what I mean?
They're just more worried about like the hill dicks with 2 teeth in the South who have like, I feel like there's bad apples. Like,
for sure.
What you saw last week, or however, it was last week, Wednesday. What you saw last week does not, I think, represent the party in itself. Obviously,
no. But
I think that's what they're worried. They're worried about having these inbreed individuals.
See, that's bullshit.
Bred to make more inbreed individuals.
To me, that's just. I mean, that could be their excuse. But to me, that's bullshit because it's like, look what we saw in 2020 on the other side. The other side, I know so many videos, and I remember seeing on like newscasters and pretty much inside saying, go out there, start violence. We should be fighting this. I mean, even 4 years ago when Trump got in office, the newscasters were saying that we should be protesting this. This is an outrage. Like, it goes both ways. I mean, look what happened with Black Lives Matter and Antifa, like blowing up cars, blowing up buildings. Like, it's such bullshit that the hypocrisy, that's a huge word in 2020.
Yeah.
It's
might be the word of the year. Like,
it's so hypocritical. Yeah. It's so hypocritical. You can't have it one way and then just like completely forget about the entire 2020, Black Lives Matter and defund the police, like just completely nonsense. Like, yes, Black Lives Matter. We fully understand that, but that organization is, in my opinion, it's dangerous.
The organization.
It's dangerous.
Obviously, the cry for help and change, that's important as hell. I'd be the first out there to do it with anybody because that's important. But I think
for sure.
Yeah, I think when there's money involved and the leader of the organization, they do very little to actually help.
Right. That's the point.
And that's the thing. I mean, you're from Chicago. We're from Chicago. It's like, this city is like on the epicenter of what should be all their funds. I mean, they should be pouring that in, helping us, after school initiative programs, and they collect the money.
Yeah, but where's it going?
It's not coming back in. Like, you're seeing these people, moms, who get off work and like, what could I do to help this area, this neighborhood? Oh, I'll start a little club. And I mean, you have their community members doing it, but it's like, where's this money going to? That's the thing that pissed me off with that. Obviously, Black Lives Matter and shit needs to change, but it's like, certain things with that just
there's always going to be outliers, right? Like, you're going to have these white supremacist, racist people. You're going to, even on the other side, you're going to have people that hate white people. There's always going to be some crazy thing.
I haven't met one of those yet, though.
What? People that hate white people?
Honestly, I haven't. I've seen
videos of white people hating white people.
That's just called hate.
Exactly. And they'll be like, we hate white people. And then
it's like as soon as you hate someone else, it's like, then it's like, we got something going here.
What's annoying to me? What's annoying to me is like, we make it, this world right now that we're in, we make it such into like this selfish, like black and white thing. But do we forget that there are other races and there's other problems and there's other things going on? But like right now we're sucked into this thing where it's like, if something happens, it's automatically it's racist, and it's not only racist, it's just a black and white thing. Like we automatically, Aaron, I don't think I've ever, I mean, this happened recently, right, with the Capitol, but like something that really bugged me in the media and specifically in the black community, it was that the Capitol thing happened, right? And then I forgot who did it. It was a celebrity. And they basically said, oh, look, that's white. That's basically white privilege. If it was black people storming the Capitol, they would have been shot and killed. But
I don't know if they would have been shot, but I think like,
I know for a fact there's people that I follow that are conservatives that are black that were there, that were not shot. and to play God and to be like, hey, if it was black people, they would have been killed. Okay, listen, like there was so much going on in 2020, people looting, people rioting. Cops didn't just go randomly killing black people. That's just not how it was. I understand there's a problem in our society, but we really have to be smarter with our words, because that whole Capitol thing was turned into a black and white thing that day, at least from like people that I saw. It was creating this division because one person said, a celebrity said, if they were black, they would have been killed. But I really don't believe that. Who are we to play God? And that's another thing. Like, I think the whole thing was set up. I think it was set up to make Trump look bad. They got him. Dude, there was people there that were not Trump supporters. There was Antifa there. There was, if I don't know if you've seen pictures, but like there was a picture of the guy wearing like the wolf skin or the bear skin, and he had horns. Did you see that picture?
The dude who posts photos with Giuliani.
Yeah. So, but that guy is Antifa, and he's been at every Black Lives Matter rally all year long. So to say he's a Trump supporter, it's wrong. Like it wasn't just Trump supporters there. And I condemn, and I think it's all violence is shit. You know what I mean? It's crap. But I don't know. It kind of bugged me that we were playing God, and we were like, if it was black people, they would have been shot. Like, we don't know that. And I know for a fact there was. Right.
But I do have to say, what we did see though, like, I do feel that does raise some question though, because I mean, I was in DC during some of that stuff of the summer. I was less than 200 yards from the White House, photos and everything. I was at that church where Trump posed with the Bible. I was there. I have all these photos. I mean, it was a little bit different though. I mean, you saw thousands of troops guarding buildings, and people were just standing outside there. There was a lot of bad instigators too. Don't get me wrong. A lot of jackasses in the summer. A lot of them.
There's so many shitty people out there in the world. There's tons.
But like, I feel like if it was all, I think it would be a little. I don't know if it'd be as bad as others said, but I do think there would be a difference. That's all. Like, I do think there would definitely be a little bit of a difference, knowing that what we know now. I have actually my brother's good friend from the Air Force Academy's wife. I'm not gonna say much. Works. She's a very high up position at the Pentagon. So it's like there was some stuff that was really eerie that was coming out about people just going, sure, go in. Like what the fuck? Like, you're just gonna let them go in?
That's why.
That's a little scary.
That's why,
like,
for
people
me,
marching and fighting and getting pissed and rioting, which is wrong, but for people's lives. But like, people are going in and they're doing this off of something that they believe in, whether it's true or not. I don't like the.
Well, that's why for me, like I know what. That's why I say that it's set up. It is scary. I say it's set up because of those videos of cops, literally cops, just being like, "Come on in, guys, come on!" Like there's videos of cops just letting people break into the Capitol building. The Capitol building is like one of the most
secured place.
Yeah, and for cops just to be like, "Yep, come on in," like, but again, I do understand where people are coming from, and I do understand if you said, like, if it was all black people, like, it would have been a little different. Like, they would have been like, "Whoa!"
Everyone would have been like, "What the fuck is this?"
It would have been a little tighter security. Let's just say that. Yeah. I don't think there would just be like shooting people and killing people.
Why do you think there'd be tighter security though? Let me ask that question.
Well, I do think in a sense, like what you're saying, because you said that it would be a little bit different. And I think there's a problem in the United States, not only in the United States, it goes deeper, in the problem in the world of racism, for sure. Racism. Stereotypes and racism, for sure, 100%. There are definitely racists out there. I mean, we've seen it all year with cops, how they treat black people differently. 100%. Whether people will admit that or not, they're wrong. They're completely wrong. Like, but what annoyed me was, like, we jumped to the conclusion to say that it would have been a bloodbath if it was all black people going out. I just don't like playing God like that. That's kind of how I wanted say it. Like, I just don't feel like people,
that's a little
yeah,
rough.
I don't like people playing God. Like, but I am fully aware that not all, but some cops, there's always a few, you know, and probably in
There's a lot of
every,
bad apples
force.
everywhere you go. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And there's a problem with white people to an extent when it comes to like the older generation, right?
Mhm.
There's still people who are racist for sure. There's totally people who are racist, and it sucks. And I think it's only going to get better in due time as generations go on and on and on. But racism's taught, you know, both sides. Like, I know I've seen racism from Mexican people, from black people who hate that's the other thing. I don't like that it's only a black and white thing, right?
Yeah.
Like, why do we only talk
why
about,
do we still have this fucking problem? Like, just be a decent person.
Well, yeah, no, I completely I understand that, but like we focus so much
on the black and white.
And we are almost making it worse by constantly saying like, that's racist, this is racist, you're racist. So then now these kids who are growing up and are watching shit going on in 2020, and then their parents are like, look, white people do this to you, cops, like, it's all taught. Racism's taught. We're not born racist. We're not. We're like, I was taught to love everybody and not be racist, right? But not everyone's taught like that. Not everyone's taught like that. And both ways, man. Like, it's bad. Like, on video games, I mean, Jesus Christ, I have a white character on my 2K, and if I'm like the only white guy on the team, you know, like, you'll hear like 14-year-old kids and because so for people who don't understand, I'm playing 5-on-5, and like, you have 4 other teammates, and we're all on mics, and we're playing basketball. And you know, I've had so many times, like, little kids, I'm talking adults for sure, but I mean, even little kids, like 12-year-olds, be like, fuck you, white boy, we ain't giving you the ball, you can't do shit, you white. And it's like, you're 12 years old. That was like, it's so sad to me that people that young are getting so corrupt. And it's not only black, because there's white too. Depressing. There's hunky, one tooth, motherfucking, you know, hillbillies out there teaching their kids not to like black people, not to like Mexicans. Yeah. And it's like, it's such a sad world that we live in, that we still have adults teaching their kids to be racist. And that's the core issue of it, man. Like, racism is taught at home, period. So I don't know how to fix it.
You just pick up and go, you know what? I'm just gonna fucking hate black people. Like, that's something that is instilled somewhere early on in your life, the formative years.
It's crazy, dude.
It's like, you don't just go, you know what? I don't like that guy, because he's like, there's formative. That's a developmental thing that's formed at home. Like, no one just
for sure
out of the blue just hates some culture or race. Just to fucking do. I mean, maybe. I mean, there's extremists, but for you being when I talked to you last, it's coming back to me now. It was right around the Ahmaud Arbery situation. That's how long ago it was. I totally forgot about his name. That's how sad it is. It's been so long. But it's only been a year. After what happened last week, it's felt like 5 years since then. But
for real, dude.
When I talked to you last time, I brought up the fact that Erica, your fiance, soon-to-be wife, I don't know if you got married yet with the whole COVID
next month, baby. That's why I've been so busy.
That's fucking awesome. Woo! But she's black. How was I know then we talked about the struggles. You guys would go out, you'd get looks like, hey, why are you with so and so? But has that over, and that was before the whole George Floyd shit. So this is where I wanted to get back to on that. What was the perception and the attention brought upon you guys in public post George Floyd? Did you get a complete different response? Like, oh, could I give you a hug? Like, what the fuck you want to give me a hug for? Like, did you see a completely different switch?
To be honest, no. And it could have been part because
shit, dude.
Because of quarantine, you know, we didn't go out as much.
Yeah.
But man, like, even before George Floyd, so stuff goes on all the time, and it's there. And there's both, right? There's people who stare because, you know, they think we're a good looking couple, or, how could you not, right? We're two sexy stallions, you know what I mean?
Fucking nailed it. There you go, man.
But yeah, there's also the other side of it where I'm sure we get stared at because they don't like that we're together, but no, I don't think anything like with George Floyd or Ahmaud Arbery, I don't think anything changed like that. But maybe for me, I've always been aware, but I don't know. Recently I've thought I just, when I do become a father and, it's going to be one of my most challenging goals and one of my most that I don't know how to describe it. I guess something that I'm going to be really, really proud of, to raise my kids not to see color. It's going to be a challenge, right? Because initially, yes, it's going to be easy because they're only going to be around me. But then when they do go out in public and
school
and different things, then that's where it becomes a little bit more challenging. But I really am excited for the challenge to just raise good, amazing kids with good hearts that don't see color and that understand that we're all people, and we're all here to live our lives and accomplish great things. And it's going to be challenging. But I'm super excited to be a dad one day, to little mixed babies and have them grow up to be team swirl, I don't know. That's something that I think this year I've always known, but I think this year I've kind of thought about it a little bit more. And I don't know. I'm excited about it, but I understand that it is going to be a challenge, right?
Yeah.
But ultimately, man, none of that, man. Like we're just gonna have a family, right? That's gonna play a part, right? But I'm not gonna really like focus on it every day. Like, hey, make sure we're not racist today.
Hey, did
family.
a white person call your name today?
Yeah, like that's not how my life is. That's not how real life is. But me and Erica will be conscious to instill those things into our future kids. I think that if anything for George Floyd, it's done two things. It's made me more aware that I don't want to say that it's so tough with the white privilege thing, because I don't believe in it, but at the same time, I understand it a lot more from someone else's perspective, like of color, right?
Yeah.
I think it's a mindset, and there's so many people that we're all on different wavelengths and we're all on different mindsets. And to say that there's not something that exists for white people that there isn't for black people, you're just being stupid and being blind if you don't see something. There is something, right? So that has done that with George Floyd a little bit more for me. And then, yeah, for some reason, I don't know why, but during that time, I was just getting prepared and excited to have kids and teach them the right way. You know what I mean? I think that's something to look forward to. And I know that your older brother, right, has little swirls.
He's got like too many. He's got like 5.
Five little swirls?
Yeah, 5 swirls. She's got wait. I think it's 5. This is bad. That's how many he has. Suvi, Evie, James, Patrick, Garrison. Yeah, 5. He's got 5. I had to fucking count. That's how many he has.
Wow.
But but they're done now. And I mean, the thing that sucks is they're all like, they had a factory going. It's like not even 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like they're that close. Like I think 3 years is the absolute most it separates between them.
Right. Wow. That's crazy.
Nuts. It is. And he's got to put them all through college at the same time.
Right. Do you think, like, have you ever had a conversation with your brother about that or
yeah. He doesn't believe in, so I'm glad you brought that up actually. Yeah. I mean, he's my brother's and like I said, politics, whatever. Politics would never change my view about anybody. My brother he's more conservative.
Smart man. I'm just kidding.
But that's just what he is. Whatever, so be it, right? Um, but yeah, I mean, he's more on the side of kind of your mindset. Like
Mm,
he doesn't like he's really big on conservative authors like Thomas Sowell. So I mean, he's geared differently. I mean, he has his different views. Whatever, so be it. So it's like having that conversation with him was like having a conversation with you, but him having kids much different, but still the
mm-hmm,
same type of things that you brought up. So it's like
mm-hmm,
he doesn't see it he doesn't really believe that there's systemic racism in this country.
mm-hmm.
That's his belief. Whatever, so be it. Um, so yeah, I mean, the conversation with him is like the conversation with you. Like it's just nothing extreme, but it is something that yeah, he goes, it is kind of crazy that like that's something that they're gonna eventually figure out, but they're all homeschooled. So that's the thing is his wife was homeschooled all the way up until I think college, and she went to the Air Force Academy and Naval Academy. So like they're gonna grow up differently. They're gonna grow up in a different environment. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
they're not really gonna necessarily fully experience the formative years of kids just being plain fuckheads and calling you rude names and shit because they're at home,
Right.
which is great. A lot of people do it, but so yeah, it's a different experience for them
Well, it's
to
funny
that
that you
regard.
say that because sometimes I think Erica's joking, but for the most part, I'm pretty sure she's serious. She wants to have our kids homeschooled.
Yeah,
Be,
and the thing
partly
is, I think it's
because of how shitty, first of all, how shitty the school systems can be.
mhm.
Second of all, of how shitty kids can be and
Kids are
how,
assholes, man. I mean, I was bullied so much to the point where, I literally, I kid you, I mean, I tried to take my life a couple times. I got expelled in 8th grade because this is bad. I'm not a psycho, but I brought a gun to school, and a little girl saw it on the bus, and she told the principal. And thank God she told the principal. It was a really high powered like BB gun and shit. I mean, the thing
mm-hmm,
it had like metal pellets in or whatever, but still, like that was my mindset. Like I'm fucking done with this. I had enough.
right.
I want to tell these people who I had enough that I had enough.
Mm,
And, you know, I was treated like, oh my God, this guy's a fucking crazy guy. I'm like, wait, no, 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 no. Let me talk and tell you who the crazy people are, okay?
right, right.
Um, but yeah, I mean, people are cruel. And but that's not the reason why they're homeschooled. That's just she was raised like that. I mean, she's from Jamaica, so it's like
Right. But
her
but
mom
that's a
has a bunch of
huge
kids that were
way.
all homeschooled. So it's like that's what she
Right.
knows.
Right. But what you were saying, I mean, that's like, I mean, that is a big reason of why that I would be okay with it because
Yeah.
of how shitty people can be and how shitty bullies can be and how it can have an effect.
Hmm.
Like to what happened to you to a lesser extent or to more. Like, I mean, can you imagine if that kid never did tell on you and then I mean, who knows? You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Or if you brought a goddamn real gun, I mean, Jesus Christ,
Oh
like,
my God, I'd
you
be
know,
fucking
it's not funny to even joke about. I
right.
mean, it's
Uh-huh.
a little silly. We're having a little fun,
It
but
is crazy. It's
like,
stupid. I look back at it, but it's like, no, damn it. Like I was that low because people are assholes.
right, exactly. And I don't know because I'm on both ends, but I think I had a different experience in high school, and I would want my because one of some of the best times of my life, and
Hmm.
I would want my kids to have that, but then at the same time, it's like I don't know, man. I'm like in between on it, but Erica's definitely more like we should homeschool the kids, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know because I had a blast, but maybe we do homeschool and we just get them heavily invested in sports.
Yeah. Heavily
You know
invested
what
in
I mean?
sports. Start training them.
Yeah, start training them young.
See, I get see that's another thing too. Like that's a stereotypical thing that just gets picked up and play. Like, I joke around with my brother. I said, "You got a full starting five." He goes, "Yeah, I got a whole fucking team. We got our own
Yeah,
basketball team here." But like that's
yeah,
another thing too. And we use that as we just use that term so loosely because one, it's not because we're being racist. I think it's just that's just, it's sad, but society, like we're geared that way. Like, oh, I'm sure they're all gonna play sports, right? You're like, wait, why would you think that? But it's like we don't. It just comes out that way. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't. That's the sad part, dude. It's like it. What we're saying, it sounds fucking horrible,
Mm-hmm.
but we don't see that because that's just like it's so ingrained and so drilled into our vocabulary
For sure.
where we become like that's become normalized. It's
Right.
not bad, but it's like it is sad. Like, oh, I'm sure they all play sports. Like, wait, what? You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. No. Yeah. You mean like in the sense that
Yeah,
they're
because of like,
black.
oh, yeah. You look at like, if you don't know my brother or his wife, and some ordinary person goes, "Oh, how many kids you got? 5? Wow. Well, they're gonna do you good. I'm sure they'll go off really well and make a
Right.
lot of money." And like, doing what? Well, playing sport. Why would you? And then you get them in that
Right.
conversation,
Right. Right.
and you're not being angered in that conversation. You're just questioning them, like, wait, so what makes you think that because of
Right.
that they're gonna do that? Like, that's
Yeah. I
just where we are
totally.
as a society.
No.
Which
Totally.
is fucked
Totally.
up.
There's.
It's so screwed up.
It is. It's in. It's. I don't know how that started. I don't know. I mean, but yeah, it is totally a thing. But for me, I don't even think of it that way. Like I just think, well, it doesn't matter what color my kids were going to
Yeah.
be or are going to be. Like I I played sports, and I think the reason I am who I am today, a big reason,
Mhm.
is definitely because I played sports. That's where I got my social skills. That's where I
Oh
made
yeah.
a lot of my friends, where I have a ton of my memories, where
Mhm.
I got some of my habits. Um, and I think socially for kids, there's nothing better. And I
Right.
think to learn how to lose and to learn how to win is
Very important.
huge. Is huge in sports as a kid, and it teaches you so many things. And um, I mean, I would recommend it to anyone. You don't have to go pro or anything, right? But get your kids active, right? That's another thing. Fitness, being in shape.
Yeah.
Sports is amazing. Like whoever invented sports, all hail
Whoever
to you.
invented just the
Just
category
the
of sport.
category.
Yeah, I wonder who the fuck did that. Like one day goes,
And-
I'm gonna make it just sports. Just
yeah,
everything.
sports. Uh, and man, like I envision myself being a very involved dad, and whether my kids play sports or not, like I'm gonna try. I'm gonna introduce sports to my kids, but if they're not interested, I'm not gonna be that asshole dad that's like you're fucking doing this. Like
Yeah.
there's people out there like that for
Oh,
sure.
dude, I grew up with so many kids whose
Oh,
parents were
me
like
too.
that. I'm like,
Me too.
dude, like deep down, I never said anything. I'm like, God, he's a fucking dick.
Yeah,
Like
for
you're not
sure, for
eating
sure.
no dessert for you tonight. I'm like, dude, back the fuck
Right.
off. This dude is like, I'm
Yeah.
8 years old. Like, chill out. What are you?
Exactly.
You're not fostering a Herschel Walker here. Trust me, I can tell you that much.
Oh man, that's so funny. No, but seriously, like if the kids don't want to do sports, fine. Like whatever they do, I'm gonna be heavily invested in. But at the same time, yes, there is a small selfish part of me that I want to have a little star in sports that will go farther than me. I want someone to get past the college football stage and maybe have a college football player, Major League Baseball, and kind of live my dream through me, but not selfishly. I want them to actually want it. There's a difference,
You
like I
wouldn't
want
force
them.
it. Yeah, like you would
Right,
just be
right,
like, you would definitely lead them that way. Like, hey,
right,
want to play catch? No.
right,
Oh,
right.
fuck. What I do wrong?
Yeah, it's like God damn it. Okay,
Picks up a,
we'll go do math problems in the
hey,
kitchen, I
Dad, can I go
guess.
to dancing?
Uh,
What?
I mean, but I'm not going to be the type of dad that's going to tell them no for anything. It's like
Yeah.
if that's what you're into and that's what you want to do, let's do it. Let's knock it out. But I definitely will introduce sports pretty early. Let's just say that. If that makes sense to people
So
listening.
I think it's important. I mean, as anyone who wants to be a dad, I think it's important because you remember that growing up. You remember that bond, and it's like
Best memories.
I would trade anything in the world right now to go back to those moments right now
Yeah,
because of the
for
fact
sure.
of like I don't have that now because it's harder once you get older. And especially for my situation, you can't move around as much. It's like I would literally trade anything to go back to that, because I mean, it
Right.
would be like after school, after homework, it'd be like 4.5 hours outside just
Right.
throwing a ball. Like, that was fucking great. I don't know if I can't remember the last time I've ever seen a father and son outside playing catch, legitimately having fun and not just doing it just to get reps in because the kid's got a game next week. I mean, like,
Yeah, man, it's crazy.
everything's changed.
Felt big time, big time. And even something as small as like, I wish I could just, I mean, my dad wouldn't care with like the whole COVID thing. I could if I was in Illinois, I would be able to go to his house. But there are families out there right now that like aren't getting together. And
Right.
some of my favorite memories is just going to my dad's house and watching football. Like, even if even me as a dad in the future, even if we're not, and the kids are not playing sports,
Mhm.
but I mean, even if something as small as like they're interested or they're a Bears fan, that's cool, because like that's kind of what I did with my dad is, watch Bears games and grill out. And now that I'm a vegetarian, we'll be grilling out some veggies on the on the grill, or some Impossible meat,
Yeah.
But some cool things that I look forward to that I hope my kids are into, but if they're not, they're not. It is what it is.
Gotcha. I got you in that. So, what's going on with the show before I wrap things up here? I mean, you got one episode out. You started 2021 off with I fucking love those episodes you do with your brother, Kyle and Quinn. Quinn's
Yeah.
always, man, that dude's I love him.
He's out there.
He always he's a great. Always, you guys put out great content all the time when you bring on all the family members and shit like that. But what's going on with the show? Any exciting shit coming up for BeUniQue?
Man, like,
A lot of celebrities. I know you mentioned that.
I do have a lot of people I've been talking to. I kind of wanna keep it somewhat secretive.
Keep it on the down low.
Yeah, because I don't know when they're gonna come on, because I haven't pulled the trigger. But I do.
They might cancel on you too, because that's happening.
Yeah, that does happen for sure, and that's partly why I don't announce things anymore. But there is two things I'll say, and I'll say I also wanted to start the 2021 year out with BeUniQue with kind of, I wouldn't say giving back, but like kind of showing my appreciation to Quinn and Kyle, my brother, both my brothers, that like they've showed support, they've shared, they've liked, and as well, same as you. But I mean, we have our own podcast, so we can do things like this on a regular. So I thought of a cool, fun idea. Like, I think Would You Rather is just a fun thing to do.
And I never responded to that, by the way. I was being a dick, because I just like, I don't know. Like, I felt like if I said you something, it would have been stupid. It would have been, I don't know. Like, there was nothing there worthy of content. So.
I have one for you too. A Would You Rather, but I'll wait. But I just wanted to have them on and have fun and joke around and be lighthearted, because a lot of 2020 where, I did do some of that, but not a lot. I did a lot of serious conversations, talking to people, whatever. I wanted to open up with just some funny, lighthearted show that, like, we're just silly guys at the end of the day. And it was a blast doing that. And I hope to do more stuff like that in the future, because that already is like a lot of downloads, and I can't even believe it, because
that's awesome.
It's just us goofing around. But I mean, people have reached out, we're silly, or we're sick in the mind, or whatever it is. Like, there was a lot of crazy, there was a lot of crazy shit in that one. So, but for upcoming, I'll say this: Tuesday, I've never been, I don't know if I could say never been more excited. And I'm not saying he's like massive, but to me, he's someone that I listen to every single day. So I'm really excited about that. That's Tuesday. I don't really want to say anything more about that.
Dan Katz?
No. But Dan Katz has been on his show before. Yeah. Let's just say that.
That's cool.
And 312 Conservative is going to come on and drop bombs on the Chicago mayor.
Fuck.
So that is going to be.
Hey, Chicago, if you're listening to this, like you probably will, if they might investigate what's going on.
Yeah, no, seriously. Shout out to what's her name, Lori Lightfoot, because you are about to have some bombs dropped on you by the 312 conservative. I don't know when. I'm pretty sure I'm going to set that one up pretty soon, relatively soon.
Mm-hmm.
But because she doesn't work for them anymore, she said she's going to let loose and let out all the secrets, and she wants to do a tell-all on my podcast.
Oh, wow.
So there's going to be things that she hasn't told me yet that I'm like, probably, I mean, who knows what we get to hear about, like how corrupt the Chicago mayor is or whatever it is. I'm excited about that. So that's something to look forward to. It, you know, whether you're on the left or right, it would be cool to hear some drama about Chicago politics, and even deeper than that.
Get a kick out of that.
Yeah. I mean, besides that, man, I got like some athletes. I got some guys that are just committed to college. There's guys that are in college.
That's exciting.
You know, I could do a couple more minor league baseball players, but I got a former, and I remember you saying this, and it's so funny that like weeks after, but guy who's won a Super Bowl, has played for multiple teams. I'm not gonna. He's a former tight end. We'll just say that he's down the line, and that I'm super excited because if anyone fits
Bennett's one that I'm working on.
Martellus.
Yeah, is that it?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I'm talking to him.
Yeah. So I mean, if anyone fits to BeUniQue, it's Martellus Bennett.
Yeah,
right?
He's cool, man.
Like, dude, he's out there. And you know what's cool about Martellus Bennett is
he's an art freak, man. He's fucking awesome.
But that's what I was to say. Like, what I love about it is former Super Bowl champion, and the reason that I like him, he's on the Chicago Bears. He's so outlandish.
He hated the Bears too, which is hilarious.
Yeah, and Jay Cutler and the whole drama. So I mean, I'm sure I'm going to talk to him about that. But like, he literally deleted all. He has no pictures of football, none.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It's all art. It's all like what he's doing now. And I love that because a lot of former athletes, they still live in that like mindset of like, I was a football player, you know, check me out. But like he's a family guy and he writes children books. Like that's like, he's crazy, man. I'm super excited to talk to him. There's quite a bit like that are in the works or UFC fighters. And
that's exciting.
And I'm sure, dude, like I said, it's so random with me with booking that it's just randomly I'll just hit someone up, and if I'm like, let's go, let's book it, let's do it. Because there's some where it's like if they reply, you get on their ass and you say, hey,
what are you
let's
doing
do this
now? Do you want to do it
like
right
now or like tomorrow, or like we got to set this up, because those are the ones who usually are, you know, you wait a week or two and then they bail. You know, I'm sure you felt that before.
It was like David Bodie. He kind of I don't know, like I was supposed to get something going with that, but from what I understand, talking to my buddy John Duplantier from the Diamondbacks, I guess now baseball's starting on time and they're not holding back. It's just normal season like it usually would be. So everything's changed. Pitchers and catchers report like a few weeks, so it's like, fuck, it's crazy.
Wow, that's like
stopped.
That's like soon. That's next month.
So it's like tomorrow or Monday. I'm talking to Riley Smith. He's on the Diamondbacks 40 man, and he goes, "Yeah, we're gonna have to do it quick." I said, "What's going on?" He goes, "Well, baseball's coming." I said, "Oh, like," and I was like, "Okay, sarcasm." We didn't hear anything. Like they haven't said shit about starting, but then Manfred came out and said, "Yeah, we're starting." Normal baseball, nothing stopping us, not even COVID. I'm like, all righty, you do you then.
Awesome. Man, I hope we got to be getting to a point, at least in some of these states, where there's going to be fans for baseball. So that's a step forward. I'm trying to think. Like, I don't know. Arizona used to have fans for football, and then I remember I was going to go to a Niners Cardinals game, but then they weren't letting fans in. So I don't know, but some places do. But that's exciting.
That's who the champ's from. So he's on the Niners now. But
he's on the Niners now.
Yeah.
Who?
Yeah, it's
so he's currently playing. Let me try and guess this real quick.
He's not like currently. None of them are currently playing right now. They're all fucking done because they sucked asshole this year.
Right, but he is under contract by the Niners, and he's a former Super Bowl champion for the Patriots.
Yeah.
Offense or defense? Just give me that.
It's offense, but it's not who you think it is.
Is it a back?
It's not
It's
Jimmy
got
G. That's like big dick interview. I'd definitely bust in
that. Yeah, that's big
because I'm a
dick.
diehard Niners fan. But yeah.
Oh man, I'm trying to
So
think.
I've been keeping open lines of communication with that. George Kittle too, man. I've been in contact with him, but it's like he hasn't really been like, oh, like he'll send me messages like, dude, man, that sounds so cool. Keep doing it. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, answer the question.
Yeah.
Because he
It's
has
like,
his own
dude, come
podcast
on.
he does with his dad.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, he did it during the regular season.
Wow. That would be
Yeah.
Kittle would be a cool one for sure. Kittle would definitely be a cool one. Okay, so since you're a Niners fan and you're a Cubs fan, right? Big Cubs fan.
Yeah, I'm a Giants fan too.
Okay. Let's go with this. I'm gonna give you a would you rather. It'll just be a sports one. Would you rather have had the Niners draft Patrick Mahomes
Okay.
or no. Okay, now I really got to think of this correctly. What would you rather have had happen? The Niners draft Patrick Mahomes, and if they get Patrick Mahomes, the Cubs don't win the World Series in 2016.
Oh,
or
definitely.
The Cubs win it, and then you just stay as
Cubs
is.
win it.
Cubs win it.
Without question.
Really?
I have up there, I have all my, I went to NLDS game 1, NLDS game 2, NLCS 1, NLCS 2, and NLCS 3, World Series 4. I have all the tickets up there.
Wow.
I have on the other side all the Giants ticket from the postseason in 2014. I have them all hanging up there.
Wow.
So baseball through and through. I mean, I have one thing in my room that's Niners. But it's just like, I'm not like a kid getting SI Kids magazines. Oh, look, there's a poster of Jimmy G. I'm putting it on my wall. Like, I'm not like that. But baseball, without question, that's
your number one.
I mean, I never was good at the sport. I'd like to think I was one of the best fielders in Little League in my area. I sucked at offense, but fielders, I was like fucking Spider-Man, dude.
I love it.
But baseball, without question, there's nothing that.
I'm with you there, and
because of the moment with my dad, like
right,
given like he's sick, and like knowing that wow, I had it. Like not too many. There's so many stories you saw that year of like people who like so sad, like 95-year-old died during game 6. Like, oh my God, that's fucking horrible. Like, waited so long.
That's that scenario. That's crazy.
It's like I got to witness that with my family together, and like just tears, like nothing could ever trade that. And nothing, I think, even because I was down at game 6 of the NLCS, I was there at Wrigley, and right before, who was it at the plate? Yasiel Puig. I think it was him at the plate, but they switched him out. I think they did a switch. They did a pinch hitter or whatever for him. And my brother called me, and he goes like this: I want to be on the phone with you during the final play, because he at that time he's on the East Coast and we're in Chicago, and there's a delay. There's a delay in the call because of the timing difference. There's about 10 seconds delay. So on TV, he's behind 10 seconds. So when that pitch gets thrown and you hear what was heard on TV, eventually it was the bias to, or it was I think it was bias to Russell for 1, Russell to Rizzo for 2, game over, the Cubs. He heard Wrigley Field erupt, and then he heard the call. That was the most amazing moment ever, because he was going balls to the wall in a fucking bar, and people are going, what the fuck is going on? Hey, what happened to this guy? Do we need to, like, the people are looking at him like he's psychotic, and then they go, like, he goes, my brother, he's down there. So like that was insane, because like
like
that was a moment I'll never forget. Like there was literally 2, I was just 21, like fully grown ass dude at that time, 4 kids, just bawling her eyes out. Oh my God. And the thing that sucked is I remember sitting, I was 2003. We're downstairs. My brother's 16 years old.
Right.
And, you know, when all that shit went down, my brother's bawling his eyes out. I'm like, what the fuck's this guy's? Like, what's his deal? I don't get it. But I'm like, oh, I get it. Like, I get this now. I mean, like, this shit's tough. Like, 2015, seeing the Mets celebrate on Wrigley when they won the NLCS, horrifying. But I'll never forget that moment, NLCS Game 6, 2016 against the Dodgers. That might have been better than actually winning the World Series because of the experience of being there. And dude, afterwards it was fucking crazy. I was going to the Red Line, and guess who I run into? They were going nuts. Addie and Nick.
Oh, they were there.
I literally bumped into them. I go, what the fuck? I go, oh my God, it's you guys. I bumped into you. So yeah, so that like topped it
That's
off.
hilarious.
We're there on the Red Line going. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is great.
That's hilarious. I love it.
It was like a 50-minute process just to get out of Wrigley, up the stairs by the Red Line, and then get on the train. Altogether, maybe 2 hours from there to wherever you had to go.
God, I hope we get back to something like that, to where it's just
that's
people.
A long answer to your would you rather. Would you rather have Mahomes go to the Niners or the Cubs win the World Series and Mahomes not go to the Niners? Easy question. Cubs all day.
Yeah. See, for baseball people, but like for football people, maybe not for the Niners, but for the Bears. For the Bears fans, that's a good question, because Bears fans have never had a good quarterback. And if you draft Mahomes, we might have already won a Super Bowl. So it's a tough question.
Give Jay Cutler shit, though. Honestly, like Jay, if he had an actual consistent coordination system, he'd be good. Like Alex Smith, his last 3 years with the Niners, or his last couple years with the Niners, were the best years of his life, because they actually had the same coaching staff consecutively for 3 straight years.
Mm-hmm.
Every year he was there, they had a new head coach, new coordinator, or whatever. Every single year he was there until Harbaugh came in. So it's like basically learning a system and then going, alrighty, here's a new one. You're like, what the fuck? So it's like that was the reason what Cutler is. One, he never had receivers.
Well, that's the problem with the Bears,
and then
man.
Switch everything up for him. He's like, well, fuck, I got to learn this now. So it's like people always gave him shit, and everybody comes to his defense. Literally every player on that team goes, he's the toughest worker. He's the nicest. Everyone comes to his defense, and like Chicago media would rip him and be like, Jay sucks. He fucking blows. But it's like, you don't see that side of the story.
Yeah, people are so small-minded when it comes to that. They don't put everything together. They just see, oh, he sucks. Jay Cutler sucks. Like, you gotta understand that there's a lot more into it. Even the thing with Trubisky and Nagy, they just don't match. They don't. Like, Trubisky's not better than Mahomes or Watson, but
he sucks so bad.
But you put him somewhere else with a coach who actually believes in him and actually uses his strengths.
Put him in New England, he'll be great.
Things could be different. Works. Right. I mean, I don't know, man. It's tough, but I'm totally with I'm 100% taking the Cubs thing, and it's similar for me, like the moments and like all that build up. I'm a massive fan, and that year, I mean, when I was on the grounds crew, my grandpa worked for, I think it was 29 years. It would have been his 30th year, and he worked at Wrigley, right? So we would always I always have these memories with my grandpa, always, even before that, talking on the phone about the Cubs, huge Cubs fan. He worked there. I always thought it was the coolest thing. My grandpa worked there. And so I have all those memories. And then years later, I'm in Miami, and he was working on the grounds crew. He was like a ticket usher.
Yeah.
Like a seat usher. So he would always watch the games, and he got sick that year, and around All-Star break that year passed away. So my memories with my grandpa, all Cubs, everything Cubs,
I just
man.
Cried inside. Like, that's so depressing.
Yeah, so he didn't get to see it. And I specifically remember going to the funeral and putting my hand on his hand and literally
stop it. I just got done with a fucking deep interview. That's so sad.
Telling my grandpa, like, through my mind and through my head, and just like saying it in my mind, like, a bunch of things, but like, love you, whatever. The thing I fully remember, I said, Grandpa, like, Cubs are going to win it this year for you. Like, you're going to see it in heaven. and it was like super emotional for me. So when they won, that's all I thought about. Like first thing I think about is my grandpa. So like, and then not only that, like my dad was so into it. Everybody was so into it because they knew how important it was for my grandpa, right? But like my specific connection with my grandpa was the Cubs, and when they won that, I mean, you take that out, I still would be super hyped and probably still pick it, but it just adds on 1,000. It still adds on 1,000 more meanings because of like with my grandpa. And I wish he would have saw that. You know what I mean? I wish he would have saw that, but he did up top. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But hey, man, I appreciate you doing this.
Always, man.